You beat the game, right?
I beat the game in 14 hours. It's really short.
You think? 14 hours is kind of long.
Not for an RPG.
No, like, I personally don't need a game to be 20 or 30 hours. And this game took me, because I cared about my characters, and I did many side quests, and I talked to everybody. It took me 20 hours. Like why?
Side quests here suck.
Yeah.
You didn't, how do you know?
Because after I finished the 14 hours, I went back because I was like, I'm reviewing this. I have to make sure. See what the side quests are like. They are lame. Yeah. Totally lame.
Yeah.
Even I show up on my own moon, for Christ's sake, and it's like, yeah, what did he do?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah,
You have to shoot things.
The mission on the moon is the only side
things.
quest I came across that actually rewarded you with something, because you complete that, you're able to add to your class.
Yeah,
like
lame.
Since I'm doing the guide, I'm like doing every little side quest, and
Poor
they're
guy.
all the same.
You're doing the guide. Have you spent any money in the game? Is there any point
need
to money
Not
in the
really.
game?
And the loot that you get, like just doing any of the missions, is comparable to anything you can spend money on.
It was hard to upgrade your equipment. That was another
I would
minor
have liked
complaint.
a way to have sorted my equipment.
Yeah,
Oh, we talked about
like
that.
something to sort it, or
Annoying
to
is
just.
KOTOR had this problem solved.
But the thing that I ran into a couple times is because I wasn't heeding the game's warnings about like you're nearing the 150 item limit.
You got over 100. You're stuck in that screen.
And so you're at the screen. And you're like, okay, whatever. And so then I finish the fight. I kill off all these mercenaries, and then it pulls up the screen of like, okay, you need to delete these items and convert them to Omnigel because you can't throw them in your inventory. And I'm looking at these items. I'm like, wait, no, this is really good. I really want to keep this. Can I go into my inventory that I have now and delete anything?
And that's
No.
like that.
And you also
can't.
can't see the details of those items.
No. Well, and
Yeah.
that is where I feel
You
that.
can't get out of that screen.
No, you can't.
You can't leave that screen until you
like,
delete
do you want to
things.
look at what you have first?
Well, it warned you. It warned you, man.
Yeah,
it told you. It
No,
told
see,
you.
that's the
It's
thing.
now it screwed you.
Can't be mad.
Warned.
It's fun. I think that the options they give you are fun, but they make it too hard to
Yeah,
get
it's
to,
just
so
too-
you
yeah.
end up resisting and
It's
not
overwhelming. It's way.
Yeah.
It's
The thing
overwhelming.
that I did like, though, in terms of how they handled the item distribution is like as soon as you killed something, you would just automatically get like the bullets or,
Yeah,
or
you have
whatever
to go
off of
pick
them.
it
You
up
don't need to
yourself.
go over and investigate every body.
So did you all play as vanguards or?
I was a vanguard. I was a vanguard.
Because the one thing I was not happy with, I picked Sentinel, which is a mix of tech and biotics, and I did something wrong in leveling my character, and the last boss battle, this is where I had some problems with balance in the overall game. And I mean, it didn't affect me because I always had a good squad.
Yeah, but then what happened, Jen? What happened, Jen? What did you do, Jen? Grab my game save, and you're like,
as
God,
part of
your
my-
character's like, God.
Part of my research and reviewing it, I'm like, why is it that Brian was able to beat this character in 3 rounds and or beat the final boss in 3 tries, 2 tries, and it took me like, I'm not kidding, how many, over 50 maybe?
Oh.
Like, no, it was
That
bad.
is the opposite of fun.
It was not fun at all. And I took Brian, 3 times I beat the final boss, and I do feel like
I said,
the game gives you
God.
freedom to level up your character however you want, and sometimes you will pay the price. So,
I auto leveled the AI, my squad mates, and that was
well,
a
and
key.
the difference was I had really high intimidate and charm, which enabled me to have a story development
Yeah, that's
that the
true.
other 2 reviewers didn't get because
true.
they couldn't do it.
That's
So,
true.
but the points I put in there, I paid the price later.
Death attack is a matter of some concern, but there is nothing to indicate Saren was involved in any way.
The investigation by Citadel Security turned up no evidence to support your charge of treason.
An eyewitness saw him kill Nihilus in cold blood.
We've read the Eden Prime reports, Ambassador. The testimony
It is a
of
great
one
story, and the fact that they are working with an all-new IP. Before, we've seen them with KOTOR. Jade Empire's story was Jade Empire's story, but this story really does stand on its own. They built this world, and it's a very complicated story. Like, it's got a lot of different layers, and you have to pay attention, or else it's going to be like,
Yeah, there were certain times where I was like, Jen, what happened? Who's this class and where are they from? What race are they doing?
Mr. Final Fantasy VII and Metal Gear, like, let's talk about how much we love those stories. You're talking about
no, it was hard to follow. It's all new stuff. I was trying to figure it out.
No, it's not, actually. I mean,
Encyclopedia Codex thing that boots up every so often, and then you're like, oh wow, what's this about? And you pull it up, and it's like some generals have thought about. I thought that was great. I was like, oh wow, this world is huge.
For anybody who wants to know more, it's right there. And the journal was actually super helpful for those moments where my mind would wander and I didn't quite hear which planet or where I was supposed to go.
20-minute conversation you're having with somebody?
Yeah, the dialogue tree. And I all of a sudden I'm like, wait, we're supposed to go somewhere. Shit, the journal. And there it is. It's telling me what I just didn't pay attention to, and I loved that.
Saren's hiding something. Give me more time. Stall them.
Stall the council? Don't be ridiculous. Your investigation is over, Garrus.
The character development is amazing. It is, and there are so many cinematic moments, in the game.
But I think one thing they kind of said, they built their dialogue system was going to be so revolutionary and stuff like that. Well, let's be honest. The big trick is that the guy doesn't repeat exactly what he said, what the kind of choice is. That's the big thing. Yeah. But there's no more. They build that you could interrupt people and stuff like that in conversation. That's not in the game anymore.
But it's totally a case of they oversold it. Where if they had just said if they had not made such a big deal about the dialogue and maybe made more of like realistic characters, which I think ended up being really good, and then just kind of like snuck up on you with the dialogue changes, then they would have been getting a ton of praise for it, because it is really, really a leap forward from their previous thing where you read your response. You never hear your character say it. You just pick from a multiple choice list.
So intelligent. We don't need to appreciate their culture, Lenko. We need to blow them up. Period.
What I loved is I would kind of cringe when I saw the thing, because they give you a very short summary of the sentiment, so it would be like, kill him, he's not worth it, or something. And so I'd pick that and I'd be like, oh my god, I just don't want to hear how Commander Shepard is going to put this. And then I was like, you know what? That Commander Shepard, she's really good with words. She put that very well.
The biggest thing for me was the combat. I thought the combat was genius. I mean, I was kind of getting tired of, the way their BioWare games have been. But this is you can kind of play it any way you want to. If you want to play it as a shooter, you can totally play it as a shooter. You can kind of run and gun it, but if you want to slow down the action to use all your powers, you totally can. So I thought it was awesome.
So what character class were you playing as?
I was the Vanguard, so it was kind of a mix of soldier and kind of magic, and it was awesome. The point was, what I loved was that my character was really good, but my AI was really smart. So I had guys who would just take enemies and just toss them 60 feet in the air, and I would just kind of, and they would just do it I didn't have to command them to do it. They were smart enough to know when they should do those commands. So that was really awesome. But at the same time, it was challenging on the other side, because I'd be hiding behind cover, and then all of a sudden someone would use the left command, and all of a sudden my enemy would raise my cover, so actually I'd be back looking and said, oh crap, I'm gonna get hit, and all of a sudden they'd snipe me and stuff. So I thought combat was really, really awesome.
I've had trouble with combat.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay, you know why? Because probably no one taught you how to play the game. Because there's absolutely no tutorial whatsoever. Thank God BioWare showed me how to play the game before I reviewed it, because I had no clue.
I actually found the lack of, very typical tutorial a little bit refreshing, I have to say. You figure it out soon enough, but I don't think it really hindered my enjoyment of the game at all.
I'm having pathfinding issues with the AI.
Terrain's too rough.
Something's in the way.
I can't make it.
And I've had them get stuck behind walls and stuff. And
I didn't micromanage their paths like that, so I found that their own AI was good enough that I didn't have to babysit them, which I thought was really great. And I was more interested in just picking the powers that they would use. And I think, even if you're not enjoying the combat that much, can you at least admit that the variety of powers available and the way you can use them in concert with one another is really fun? It allows for, and the fact that it's physics-based means it's different every time, and you can never predict what's going to happen next, even if you do the exact same thing.
The other thing is, I think we have to bring up is that how good this game looks. I mean, Jen and I, I don't know how far you've gotten, but Jen and I finished it, and there's some levels at the end. They're just unbelievable visually. Like, they're stunning. Like, I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen the later levels, but there's just one area at the end. Like, I'm just like, holy crap.
I still dream of like the originally planned downloadable planets for the original KOTOR.
I remember
how they promised that once upon a time? For some reason, like, I'm still not burned. I still think like, oh, maybe they'll give you a whole new planet and it'll start to develop the story because they've written it as a trilogy. And I am curious. I want to know what happens next with my character. I'm excited to find out.